Welcome to Tiny Tales channel, The Prince and the Flies. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a brave, handsome, and strong prince. His people loved him dearly because he was always fair and honest, striving to govern his kingdom in the best way possible. However, one day unrest spread throughout the land. The prince heard that his people were suffering due to a strange plant disease spreading in the forests. The illness had spread rapidly, reaching even the farthest villages of the kingdom. Determined to find a solution, the prince decided to leave his kingdom in search of a cure. He made all the necessary preparations, mounted his finest horse, and set off on his journey. However, this journey would confront him with unexpected challenges and change his life forever. For days he traveled, but as he ventured deep into the forest, he suddenly lost his way. The trees were so dense that even sunlight could not penetrate the darkness. His horse panicked and ran away, leaving him completely alone. As days passed, his food and water began to run out. The nights were freezing, and during the day, he was drenched in sweat from the heat. As he wandered through the dark and cold forests, searching for a way out, he started losing hope. One morning, as he advanced deeper into the forest, a swarm of flies suddenly surrounded him. The prince knew how bothersome these little creatures usually were, but this time they seemed different. One fly flew close to him, nodded its head, and landed on a branch. As the prince watched in astonishment, more flies arrived. Each one seemed to have gathered to guide him. At first, he found the situation strange, but then he noticed how deliberately the flies pointed him in a certain direction. One fly flew down and left a mark on the ground. The others followed it. The prince, observing their signs, decided to follow this new path. For hours, he walked, trusting the guidance of the flies. The flies patiently led him, helping him overcome every obstacle along the way. As he climbed steep hills, they showed him the safest path. When he encountered a river, the flies perched on a tree branch and started flying toward a bridge on the other side of the forest. The prince followed their lead, climbing over the rocks along the river bank. One day, as the prince ventured deeper into the forest, the flies gave him a warning. While crossing an area filled with dangerous predators, they directed him to the highest branch of a tree. There, he hid for a short while as the flies made noises to distract the animals and drive them away. Once the danger had passed, the prince continued his journey. After days of wandering through the depths of the forest, the flies finally led him to a massive rock barrier. It seemed impossible to pass, but the flies had a solution. They gathered together, forming a bridge with their tiny bodies. This bridge was just enough for the prince to cross over the rock safely. At last, the flies guided him to the very heart of the forest. There, in a field of flowers, he saw a hidden valley where the sunlight directly touched the ground for the first time. That valley revealed the secret path back to his kingdom. The prince was deeply grateful to the flies. They were not just guides, but also loyal companions who had restored his courage and helped him overcome the trials he faced. With their guidance, he was finally able to return to his kingdom. When he arrived, his people welcomed him with great joy. The prince told them how the flies had helped him. From that day forward, he remained forever grateful to the flies of the forest. He told his people, "Sometimes the smallest creatures offer the greatest help. Our eyes often focus on greatness, but sometimes even the tiniest fly can become the most valuable guide." And from that day on, the prince ruled his kingdom not only as a strong leader, but as one who understood the power of small acts of kindness. forget to subscribe to Tiny Tales.